Is there any conversations about, hey, let's get through a season or two or get through some time frame before we review maybe the rules of engagement, if you will?
Yeah, Tommy, I think that's exactly where the commissioners are. They did understand the landscape as they set up this new format. And the idea here is that we're going to run through this year. We're going to make this playoff as spectacular as it can be. And then at the end of the year, we'll look back and go, what should we change, if anything, to make it even more spectacular? So we're always going to be trying to get better. But right now, there's no talk of changing anything. We need to see how this goes and then make some decisions.
Yeah, if you look at how all of this is married together with cooperation from the bowl games, trying to keep them in the mix, the conferences as they exist in the mix, the TV partners, you've got a lot of plate spinning to kind of keep all of that together.
Lots of them. We have a lot of great partners, but it really does take all of them. Our bowl partners are critical. I mean, they are brilliant at putting games on, and we need them for the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and it's going to be amazing. Our media partners to get this out to the public and to our fans in the best way possible. The commissioners, our institutions. There's just so many different people, but most important are our student athletes and our coaches.
Rich Clark, Executive Director of the College Football Playoff Committee, and the 12-team playoff format that we will all watch unfold this fall. You spent a year or so with Bill Hancock and kind of shadowing him. And what were some of the things that, hey, I expect certain things about this job that are just, part of the day-to-day, but what are some other things that, coming from the background you've been in, that these are some things I didn't expect about the role I'm stepping into?
Right, yeah. Well, first I'll say, Bill, we got about 5 months, 6 months to do things. I would meet him at different places or participate, and I'll first say he is amazing. He is a great gentleman. He knows college football. He knows athletics like nobody else. So I was learning from the best. The things that surprised me, I would say probably the passion that people have. And I was a fan. I still am a fan of college sports. But people are very excited about where we're going. And it is amazing. Like, you see it on the shows, you hear it from your perch, just how excited people are. But when you're having to make decisions about things that are a bit controversial, you really see the passion start to inflame. So, but that's good, right? That means people are excited about the game.
Is the potential length of the season for a handful of teams a concern of anyone in the process? I mean,
yeah, that was something that the commissioners really kept in mind as they were helping, as they were pulling this format together. A couple things, you expand that season more. It is, that takes a toll on a team. Even if it's only 2 teams, it takes a toll. They also talked about the time from the conference championships to the first round of playoffs. They wanted there to be a decent amount of time, not too long, but enough for the teams to get their legs back under them, heal some injuries, have a little bit of space before they hit the playoffs. So these were things that they thought about and they considered, and I think they found a good balance. But, again, we'll have to look back at the season when it's done and make some some assessments.
Were you able to attend and observe the committee meetings last football season?
I was.
What'd you learn from those?
Whew, that's hard work. You talk about the selection committee.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, hard work. Those folks in that room have a tough job, and they're well prepared. They watch games for, the whole weekend. They get them on an iPad so they can watch a game in about 45 minutes because they cut some of the, some of the dead time out, and they watch dozens of games. And they come in there ready to go. And I was so impressed at the integrity of that room. I was impressed with the collegiality, but they put some tough conversations on the table, and they deal with it, and they knew last year some of the decisions they made were going to be tough, and they were like, this is going to leave a mark.
Yeah.
But we got to do the right thing here. And I think they did.
What about New Year's Eve, New Year's Day? The committee seemed to the structure of it has been really hung up sometimes on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. how do you navigate through that and the calendar and the TV partners?
Right. Well, that's always an ongoing conversation. Right now, we're in a pretty good place with the schedule, at least for the next couple of years. But as we evolve, there needs to be some changes. But right now, I'm interested to see how this plays out because I think we got in a good place. I think we're in a good spot for that.
A couple more, then we'll get you out of here. There's an inevitable battle for television sets and screens on the Saturdays in December with the NFL.
Don't you know it?
That's maybe the biggest battle for college football at this point. How do you navigate that?
We have to work with the NFL as a partner. I mean, if we don't sit in a room and talk about how we're going to do this, someone loses big, right? But there's some win-win opportunities here, and I think but we have to get together and really talk it out because there's going to be some great football, and we want everyone to be able to experience it.
Rich Clark, Executive Director of the College Football Playoff Committee. We started out talking about Coach Hatfield,
yes,
who you played for at Air Force. Give us a great memory or a moment you remember playing for Coach. A lot of our listeners certainly remember him from his playing days at Arkansas and his coaching days in the 80s. He's still the last coach at Arkansas to win a conference title.
Okay, so here's a great moment, Ken Hatfield moment. The end of my sophomore year, I tore my knee up, and I got ACL, MCL, meniscus cartilage, and it was right before the holidays. And I was in the hospital on over the Christmas break at the Air Force Academy. And I remember he came to visit me in the hospital, and I was a sophomore at the time, and he said, "Hey, I just want you to hear it from me. I'm going to be leaving the Air Force Academy, and I'm going to take another coaching job, but I wanted to tell you, you weren't with the team when I announced it, but I wanted you to hear it from me personally." And I thought that was first class because he recruited me. I came to the Air Force largely because of him, and he came and he told me that, and I'm another player, but to him, I was one of his guys. And it's something I won't forget.
Rich Clark, thanks for your time, and welcome aboard with the College Football Playoff Committee.
I appreciate it, Tommy. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to talk to you a little bit about football.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go. Right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD. Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors. Or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, hay is for horses.
I have an idea to bring in more customers.
What you got?
We yell on the radio, "Woo! Pig suey!"
We're going to call the hogs?
Yeah, we call them all in. Woo! Pig suey! Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza.
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pig suey!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pig suey!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's summer clearance sale time at Julco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Julco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
Still going here on Radio Row. Now, we haven't talked to many local guys outside of Tom Murphy just yet. This is a local guy that covers not just the SEC, but national college football. He's Brandon Marcello, Northwest Arkansas resident. Brandon, obviously, we're glad to have you back in the area, of course. We'll start off with Sam Pittman, and then we'll move on to some national stuff. You got a chance to talk with him in the offseason about the relationship with him and Bobby Petrino. Has your mind changed one way or another how you feel about this football team this season?
Not necessarily, no, because I need to watch them play a couple of games this year. I mean, the talk is talk, and, they lost so much at linebackers, we know, and then they backfilled all that. And as much attention as everybody's paying to the offense, and there will be notable upgrades there just because Bobby Petrino's going to be calling the plays. But I do wonder and worry about the defense at the linebacker spots, the depth on defense, and how that's going to hold up throughout the season against that schedule. Offensively, I'm a big believer in Taylon Green, but he does need to show a little bit more consistency. Throw the football down the field. He struggled with that a little bit at Boise State. So I don't quite know what to expect from Arkansas other than this is a team that's got the type of talent to get to a bowl game. I think the question is that enough for Sam Pittman to keep his job and to keep the Wolves at bay?
Yeah.
When you look at where he's at versus some other SEC coaches, I know Dennis Dodd came out with the hot seat report, CBS Sports. Florida fans don't like Napier, the ones I talked to. What's the comparison there?
Well, I'll say this. Florida fans are different. I don't think they like any head coach they've ever had, including Urban Meyer when he was winning championships. I'm telling you, the next year after winning a championship, they were on his ass. I think that they're about on equal footing. I think with Napier, though, it almost seems like that his obituary's already written.
That schedule, geez.
Because of the schedule, right? And I think the fans are just going, what are we waiting for? Just fire him now. And that's heated things up quite a bit more. But I think him and Pittman are in similar situations. The problem is when you try to, it's not a direct comparison because Pittman's got the quote unquote easier schedule maybe, but not necessarily considering the context of it all.
Yeah. When you look at this offense and Bobby Petrino and I look at it from Luke Haas's standpoint at tight end. Bobby Petrino loves the tight end in his offense. Luke's going to be one of those maybe top 3 or 4 tight ends in this league. This could be a great marriage for those two this year, and particularly for Green to have another pass catcher out there.
No, absolutely. And you just mentioned, I mean, we saw the absolute flashes quickly before that injury last year. And, talking to Sam Pittman earlier this offseason, he was really high on Luke and the progression he's made, not just from back from the injury, but also just as a player and understanding things. And I'm with you there. Bobby Petrino, as you guys know, he's got a photographic memory. He's a guy that can out-scheme anybody. I'm interested to see what weapons emerge for him. What weapons are the ones that he identifies as the guy he needs to get out in space? As he, I remember in his former tenure, what did he call him? He called it Feed the Studs.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's still continuing that philosophy.
Some have asked, well, it didn't work at A&M with him and Jimbo. Why will it work here? And the answer for me is, well, because Jimbo was a play caller. He didn't want to relinquish that. Sam Pittman's never been a play caller. Yep. I think that's why it will work. Is that an assessment on point, or do you think there are issues coming with Petrino and Pittman in this offense?
As fans know, when you try to meld two systems together, especially when it's one guy who's going to be who he is schematically for his entire career, it's just a recipe for disaster. I don't care how much talent you've got. You cannot fit personnel into a scheme that's just herky-jerky and doesn't fit their skill set and what you want to do. And as a play caller, you're going to start pushing more buttons, trying to figure out what works when it's not necessarily your system. So it's his system at Arkansas under Sam Pittman. It's going to look – I think anybody that's trying to watch film at from Texas A&M last year going, this is what we're going to get at Arkansas, that's definitely not the case.
How hard is it to go 8-4 in this league? Fans throw out 8-4 like it's mediocre, but if I just give you 4 non-conference wins, in Arkansas's case, you win the Oklahoma State game, and the other 3 you should win on paper.
It's very difficult to find those wins, and you're exactly right. I think a lot of us are still hung up on what the SEC was maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Pre-Saban.
Yeah, pre-Saban. And now everybody believes that, well, you need to beat Saban potentially once out of every 2 or 3 years, which was impossible to do even so, and then get to 4, 5, 6 wins in the SEC, and there's only a handful of teams that can do that, and it's about to get much tougher if the SEC expands to 9 league games, which is most likely coming.
Yeah.
Winning 8 games is not a bad thing. It's just not, and I still think I don't know if you can change the fan mindset. Maybe in this new era of college football where it's going to be just power programs beating up on each other all the time, much like the NFL, it's going to be like, oh, a 7-5 season isn't all that bad. If we just had 2 more wins, we'd be in the playoff now. I think that expanding the playoff and condensing and consolidating the power programs, so to speak, into haves and have-nots, it's maybe – over the next 5 to 10 years, we start to level out the expectation.
It's also what makes the Saban era at Alabama even more impressive when you really step back and evaluate what Kirby is at least begun to do at this point. And then we talk about, Ole Miss winning 10 and Missouri winning 10. Well, let's see if they can do it 3 or 4 years in a row. Arkansas won 10 games and in 2 years in a row and 10 and 11. It can happen, but putting together 4 seasons like that is incredibly difficult for most of them.
It's completely
and it's not going to be easy for Texas or OU either.
No, and listen, I used to cover Auburn a long time. You know how many back-to-back 10-win seasons they have?
Tell me.
2.
One.
Don't say 1.
Wow.
Arkansas has more back-to-back 10-win seasons than Auburn. And, the difference, though, with Auburn is the highs are really high.
Yeah.
The lows are really low. But, yeah, good luck being consistent and winning 10 games a year in the SEC.
So that's why everybody's 3-game losing streak from being fired in this league.
Yes.
I mean, this league eventually is going to have to accept some of this, or you're going to run out of money because you're going to be paying too many coaches at one time.
At some point you think so, but
they always find it.
They keep spending it's like Monopoly money at this point. I don't know where they're getting it.
Well, but they're going to start giving some of it away.
Well, that might be what keeps things in check a little bit.
Yeah.
Brandon Marcel is a guest, 24/7 Sports National College football reporter. Speaking of money, have you invested in NCAA football yet?
I pre-ordered it. Haven't gotten to play it yet because I've been here. I've seen it. I was in the green rooms with some players, was watching them play, and it took everything in my body to just not shove them to the side and steal the controller out of their hands.
Sticks. Well,
yeah.
All right, Brandon, let's close out here on Jeff Lebby. Arkansas plays Mississippi State this season in Starkville. It's probably their easiest road game when you look at Stillwater. Technically the road game in Jerry World. They'll go to Missouri and then to Auburn. Is that a must-win game for Sam Pittman in Starkville?
Possibly. I'd have to look completely at the schedule. But when you look at Mississippi State this year, they're a team that a lot of people are chalking up as a win. What's going to be interesting for them is that Jeff Lebby is so confident that their offense is going to put up a lot of points this year.
With Shapen, yeah. And
they were terrible last year, as we know. But it's just the thing is like that offense is all new. There's only 2 guys returning. Everybody's new. And Jeff Lebby, all he does is put points up everywhere he goes with that system. Defensively, I wonder kind of how they stack up because that's what they kind of had to hang their hat on last year. Their defense really under Zach Arnett the last 3 years had been really good. Changing the system a little bit there. I think the defense is what can kind of take a step back there for them. But, definitely when you talk about Sam Pittman, every game is a must-win for him at this point. You've got to get to 500 or above 500. And if you're not winning your quote-unquote easiest road game in the SEC, you're in big trouble because he's got to win one.
The worst game in college football last season was Mississippi State and Arkansas in a 7-3
on the same weekend as Penn State, Iowa. That I remember watching that game while I was in Miami and thinking, I think I even tweeted, I said, wait, Iowa Penn State wasn't supposed to kick off till later tonight. Why is it on my TV right now? Oh, that's Mississippi State, Arkansas.
Brandon, we'll leave it there. We appreciate your time this afternoon, and try and get some sleep because I know we haven't got much these last few days.
You're right. I got to go back to the room and write tonight, so there we go.
Never stops.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Number 2, Texas in 81.
No, they were number 1.
They were number 1.
They'd beat OU the week before in Red River and came in just highly touted, and Arkansas jumped on them early and often won big. And that day, the weather was crazy. The beginning of the game was that weird kind of greenish sky, weird feeling. too hot for October, and that big front moved in during the game, and thunderstorms off. They'd stop that game now 100 times, and played right on, and fantastic finish. And that night, I went home at a late hour, turned left down Maple, headed down Stadium Drive, and the south end zone scoreboard was still on at 4:30 in the morning, 42-11.
Don't miss the Morning Rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com.
This is former Arkansas Razorback and current OKC Thunder guard Isaiah Joe, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
My father takes naps all the time, and he's not a drunk like I am.
He flip that out for me on your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I remember being like, you want to put some shrimp on the bobby, mate?
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Just like when I asked earlier for Mama Tried, and he said, what's that? And I said, Merle Haggard. He said, who's Merle Haggard?
This is the best of the Morning Rush.
It's a 2-on-1 on the break. Isaiah Joe shines it up. Throws it down. Wow.
I look back at all your big dunks. They're all with the left hand.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of all started when I was younger. I learned that I jumped higher off my right leg. So in doing so, I just started dunking left-handed. So now no matter whether I go up with one or two, I'm either going to dunk with my left hand or with two hands. This is kind of what I'm comfortable
So how
with.
did you find out that you jumped higher with your right leg?
Running track in middle school. So whenever we were trying out or whatever, they made us do the long jump with both left leg and right leg. And that's kind of when I figured out I jumped farther with my right leg. And so ever since then, it's just kind of built off that.
Initiating offense quickly. There is Isaiah Joe. Not a problem. Rates the boards from downtown. Joe caught it. Then fades away. Isaiah Joe gave it right back to Jay Will. Sees himself open and then just puts up the shot. There's so many weapons. And speaking of a weapon, there is Isaiah Joe. 1-on-1 with White. Leaves it off. There is Joe. Hangs in the air. Just long enough. Breaks it home.
The first time I think that I saw you here was actually at a Boys and Girls Club. You, two brothers, Derek, and your mom were just doing through some shooting drills. And I was just reading up a little bit, just some background knowledge. You've talked about your dad crediting him a big portion of your shot. You even said in an interview, like, he knows your shot more than you. Just talk about growing up, your dad pushing you and training you to a certain extent. And it's Father's Day weekend, so we can give him a little credit here this morning.
Yeah, man, for sure. He's grown my shot since day one. Built it from the ground up. It's kind of funny because he can't shoot at all, so I don't know how it's possible. But he's a student of the game, and he's done a great job with me and my brother Jacob. Training our shot, getting it right, understanding all the mechanics that go into it. Even watching games, he's giving us feedback even at halftime. So it's like. He's a guy that I can always look to whenever I'm, going through maybe a shooting slump or just don't know what's up, because he always has the answer, and he always, gives me good information when it comes to that. So just to have somebody in my corner, man, that like you said, I've already said, he knows my shot better than I do. I think it just kind of gives me the upper hand, and I just commend him, and I can, give him all the glory whenever it comes to me shooting. Yeah.
How hard was he on you, Isaiah? I mean, You hear different approaches to guys that go on to do great things like you've done, and Tiger Woods' dad was hard on him and putting him through all the drills. What kind of father and coach was he to you as far as handing out the discipline and making sure you got all the chores done when it came to basketball?
Yeah, man. But first, I want to say he's a great father. I couldn't ask for anybody better. But when it came time to step on the floor, it was like. No longer father-son relationship. It was coach and player relationship. So I didn't have it easy. He didn't give me any handouts. I know when I first started playing for him on my AAU team, he sat me at the end of the bench. I wasn't even playing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So everything was earned, and he pushed me every single day in practice. I was born around the sport, so falling in love with it was like second nature to me. But as far as like the workouts went, he was he pushed me day in and day out. Yeah, it was a grind for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely had to earn my way.
So looking back on that now, how big a part was that in the benefits and pushing you to the level you've achieved and getting the NBA? How big a part of the recipe for your success was all of that you went through?
I feel like whenever you're pushed for so long and, so hard throughout your life, nothing happens as a surprise anymore. No matter what you see, you've been through it all. And I think that just kind of helps with not being shocked with whether, no matter the situation that you're in, just being battle tested. I think that's what it was. I was battle tested at a young age. And so making it to each and every step of the way, nothing surprised me. I was ready for it all, and I was ready to take it down.
You mentioned being pushed, and by the way, Isaiah Joe is our guest, Northside Grizzly, Arkansas Ridgeback, and Oklahoma City Thunder shooting guard. You were pushed not just in AAU early days and junior high, but also in high school. I mean, you played with guys like Tevin Brewer, Jalen Williams, Trey Norwood. I mean, these are D1 and professional guys in some cases. How much did it help that your competition in high school maybe got you to college and then helped out just playing those guys week in, week out?
Yeah, man, it always helps just to have like-minded guys around you. People who are chasing the same dreams and have the same aspirations. They're putting the same amount of work in, you know what I mean? So just guys that you can, look to your left and your right and know that they have your back and you have theirs, and that they're willing to work, just as hard to achieve the goals that they want to achieve. It's kind of like piggybacking off of each other, being able to feed off energies and just kind of help push each other along the way.
So I mentioned some guys there, Jalen and Arkansas Ridgeback and Tevin and Trey that have also played college and stuff. You look at the NBA today, obviously you and Jalen being on the same team, Moses at Golden State, even guys that are Arkansas kids like Austin Reeves and Malik Monk. Just what has it been like for you not only to compete against former Razorbacks in the NBA on a nightly basis, but also just to play some Arkansans too every once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows the world that we have them. Arkansas isn't like a state that people look to and just think, oh, basketball. So just for us to be able to put out professionals in any aspect, I think that just shows the competitive nature that we have here, and that we actually have the athletes and can produce them. And just being out there playing against all these Arkansas guys, it's pretty cool to see. Just to see that we're putting them out each and every year now. I think it's just only going to go up from here.
Isaiah, you were drafted by the Sixers, and you end up in Oklahoma City. When they traded for you, well, it seems like they're on a youth movement. They got a long-term plan. They got you and some young guys that they're trying to build around. What was those conversations like early on, and kind of give us an idea of the vision of what's ahead with the Thunder and the direction they want to go with their roster?
Yeah, man. First, I want to say that Oklahoma City has a really great organization. Sam Presti has done a really good job of picking guys for the team that fit, our game scheme. And I think in having a young team, everybody still showed an extreme amount of professionalism. And so that's something that I commend the guys for. Everybody carried themselves the right way. But those talks really were just like we have a meeting at the beginning of every year, and we set our goals. And it's like, we're going to come into this year with this mindset. And it's not them telling us. They're asking the players, like, what do y'all want to achieve this year? And we tell them, like, oh, we want it all.
Want a ring.
Like, yeah, we want a ring no matter the circumstances, young or old. We're going to beat the odds. And so that's the mindset that everybody had going into the season, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
And you'll end up with the number one seed in the Western Conference. What kind of confidence does that give you and the rest of your teammates and that organization moving forward as to what you can grow into?
A lot of confidence. Just going into the season, everybody already counted us out, being a young team. And just to show that we can achieve greatness no matter what the odds are, no matter what everybody else says. It just shows the resilience and the determination that we have. And I think in doing so, getting that one seed just gave us a big confidence boost, and definitely will lead into the next season.
Now we're talking with Isaiah Joe again live in studio this morning. Really appreciate him joining us this Father's Day weekend. Isaiah, I think I could talk to Coach Burnett. I could talk to Eric Musselman. I could talk to your current coach now. team guy. But it was cool for me, obviously, as a guy that's grown up watching you, to see you get that first playoff start. I mean, it's one thing to play, but when you're in the playoffs and you're not a rookie, but you're still an underclassman of sorts, what kind of emotions were you having before that initial first playoff start in the Western Conference semifinals?
Yeah, it was a change, but a change that I felt that I was ready for. Throughout the season, if you've ever watched us play, we dib and dabble with all types of lineups and all types of rotations. So having change like that is no longer a surprise to the team or to me. So going into that situation, I was attacking it the same way that I would any other game, whether I'm coming off the bench, first man up or whatever. So I was ready to tackle that. The team was ready to tackle that. Unfortunately, the games didn't go like we wanted to, but moving in the future, I'm pretty sure it's still going to be like the same recipe.
This is the best of the morning rush.
Hawkins all the way. Good. Great play by Daryl Hawkins.
1990 was special. Todd, Lee, Lindsey Howell, Mario Credit, myself. We started to click. We just went on a great run that year. We were strong. We could start anybody we wanted to. We were deep. Fans were great, and I think that was really the big turn in what Arkansas basketball is becoming today.
Don't miss the morning rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com. Previously on Halftime.
But I just think there'll be a lot of chances where you just outnumber.
Easy sacks are nice, too. Yeah.
You outnumber the amount of blockers, because it sounds to me they may bring the house a little bit.
Yeah, you bring in 4 strong, bring in 3 weak. They can't pick it up. They can't identify things. Those are easy sacks. I'm excited for this defense. I'm a big fan of a 4-down lineman.
Listen to Halftime, weekdays from 11 to 2, only on hitthatline.com. This is the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast presented by White-Hurt Realtors, the Griffin Company.
The celebration of Texas and Oklahoma arriving into the league and turn into one of these situations where all of a sudden Texas thinks they're running the show again. And if you've been around long enough to remember having to share the stage with these guys in the Southwest Conference, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Yeah, I like that you did an interview about a week or so ago. You were talking with Shams and Michelle Beadle, and one of the things you mentioned is like that championship like taste and like what you guys were close this year. Tommy mentioned you being the number 1 seed, and it honestly, if you go back to when Kevin and Russ and James and those guys were playing for those initial, people forget that they lost to Dallas. They didn't just immediately get to the finals. Very similar. When you look at your team now, do you see any similarities for maybe that OKC team 15 years ago? Have you thought about that at all?
Not per se. I haven't thought about that per se, but I have thought about just the aspect of being battle tested. Sometimes you just can't beat experience. It's extremely hard to win in the playoffs alone. It's even harder to make it to the finals and win the finals. So just for us to be able to first make it to the playoffs, being the 1 seed, make it to the second round, being the team, having the unexperienced team that we have that everybody, is preying down upon. I think that just shows what we were capable of and what we can grow to. Because now that we have experience under our belt, everybody knows what it feels like. Everybody has a chip on their shoulder, and everybody, is going to play with that extra edge.
Got to ask you about Arkansas right now and John Calipari becoming the coach. We saw him at NBA playoff games and sitting there, on the front row. Have you had a chance to talk to Coach Cal and kind of what's your excitement level for where we're headed with Arkansas basketball in this transition?
Yeah, man, I actually ran into him last Friday. I was up on campus. Yeah, I was up on campus, and I bumped into him, said a few words to him. But I think it's actually kind of weird having somebody on your team that you've always wanted to beat. He's one of the best out there, and so the fact that he's always been the enemy, I think that kind of shows how great of a coach he is and how good it is to have him on our side now, because now we have the target now.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to beat Kentucky. Everybody wants to beat Coach Cal, and so now that we have him on our side, he's I think he's going to help our organization in a positive light.
Little different watching him get ejected when you're Bud Walton versus
yeah.
actually cheering for him now. And you also, Tommy brings up perspective. Obviously, you just got to see him. Case and Wallace, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, two guys that played for him. So you and Jalen can ask those guys on a daily basis and other friends in the NBA. It's like, hey, what's this background like? Which I think also kind of lends experience for you as well.
For sure.
Which is cool. Isaiah Joe, again, is our guest this morning. Have you apologized to Jeff Green yet for ending his career? For those who don't know, Isaiah had one of the dunks of the year, not just for Oklahoma City, but the NBA. I wish I had. I should have clipped it this morning. That's my bad. Left-handed, cock back, dunked on his face. All his teammates are going nuts. You apologize to him personally yet? I mean, is he out of the league? Do you know?
I don't have his contact information, so if I did, I may reach out, just to check in. But at the end of the day, it's basketball. Things happen. I honestly didn't even expect myself to go up there.
I don't think your teammates knew you had.
Yeah. It was kind of like fast break. I don't know if you watched it, but I'm like looking at Lou Dort because he's running down the court with me. I'm like, I'm about to make this pass. Then that kind of went out the window. I don't know what happened, honestly, but a lot of people seen it already. It's part of the game, man. Jeff Green, love the guy, man. I looked up to players like him growing up. So, honestly, just to be in that moment and being able to have that, under my belt just kind of surprised me in itself.
Yeah.
Isaiah Joe with us here on the Morning Rush. Isaiah, when you get away from basketball and you put that down and you don't have the laces, the sneakers laced up, what do you like to do? I mean, everybody's got to have something they do when they get away from work. Basketball's your passion, but it's also work. What are some of your other interests?
And I golf. Something I picked up.
You any good?
I'm pretty decent. I used to play competitively growing up in like the little junior PGA here in Arkansas. So I was really good back then. I'm kind of trying to get back to there. Probably handicap is around an 8. So
that's pretty good, Tommy.
We're trying, man. We're trying. I got a green put into my backyard because short game has been like killing me last few summers. So I'm like, we're about to master this short game. So
we'll get you out there with Ty over at Hardscrab, and you'll feel a lot better about yourself. You won't even take the full 18, and you'll feel a lot better about your own game.
You'll have way more fun playing with Chuck.
I got faith in Ty, man.
Can I interject one thing?
Absolutely,
Isaiah,
you can.
Hey, Chuck, how you doing?
I remember when Isaiah was a freshman, and he came to Sassy's for Coach Muss's radio show, and we talked about golf, and I asked him basically, what you guys just said. Are you any good? He said, yeah, I'm good. And I asked you, Isaiah, what's your handicap? And you said, I'm scratch. I mean, you said it with a straight face. And I was kind of taken aback. And I'm thinking, he ain't scratch. But I did find out later that you might not have been exactly scratch, but you were pretty close.
Yeah, man, I was definitely just, tooting my own horn right there. I was just trying to, whoever believed me in the moment, I was just gonna let it happen. But no, yeah. I used to be scratched growing up, but I'm not
about your handicap.
You know what I mean?
Get the bets right.
You gotta keep people guessing.
Yeah, keep them guessing on that. Well, Isaiah, I know that we're kind of running up against it. I could tell just the sense of pride you have still being an Arkansas guy and a Fort Smith guy, which is awesome. What is this? Maybe what does being here specifically from this state mean to you as we let you go?
Oh man, just being born and raised here by my amazing parents has been an amazing journey. It's been a cool journey. They I don't know if y'all know, but they both went to Arkansas, and that's where they met. And so just kind of being groomed to love Arkansas more and more over the years. I have a deep love for this state and even my city. So it's not a place that visitors will probably come to, but for me it's home, and it's always going to be home. I'm gonna be here every summer. I got my foundation here. Everybody that I work out with, my trainers are here. Everything that I need is out. Oh yeah, Yusuf, man. That's my guy, and y'all don't know, but I got my on-court trainer here with me too. His name is Don. He he's a guy that I got to give a lot of credit to because he's been with me since high school, just as Yusuf has. Great guys, and they're really professional. They know exactly what they're doing, and without them, I wouldn't even be here, man. So, I commend them, but just the city and the state as well. The support that I've had through this whole journey has been, the best.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
So this Arkansas businessman is suing this exotic dancer for $3 million that he supplied to her with lavish stuff and a $720,000 home. This has been a decade-long, what he thought was an exclusive relationship. Turns out she was dating someone during this time.
Are there just no honest strippers in this world anymore? That's just where this world has fallen to, Ty.
Surprised this thing lasted a decade. He's a business owner in Northwest Arkansas and apparently makes himself a decent amount of change. He would be better to invest his money in Arkansas athletics. Apparently the ROI was not what he thought it was going to be, Tommy. Did not return the dividends that he was expecting.
I think it was probably the frequency of the dividends that he was concerned with. Yeah, quarterly, like most married men, wasn't just going to work for him anymore.
Don't miss the Morning Rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
This is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them web thing.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors. Or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 20 days. The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
Here's the pitch. He struck him out swinging, and Osuna looked pretty foolish with that uppercut. 2 outs. He'll come set with that closed stance. Here's the pitch. Swing off of Nolan's body, recovering it in front of the mound. Tough play at first base. He got him. Conor Nolan took 2 line drives off his body on Friday, and he's a baseball magnet right now. But, man, he's wearing A flak jacket on the pitcher's mound. What a play by Conor Nolan to keep him scoreless. 4 strikeouts and 4 scoreless innings thrown by Conor Nolan, and that's his first perfect inning of the game.
Hey, this is former Razorback pitcher Conor Nolan. You're with me to the Morning Rush.
So there's way more highlights we could have added in that, Ariel. Big C with a fantastic job as we bring in Conor Nolan this morning. Conor, that's your old walk-up song, man. Does that bring you back down memory lane a little bit?
It does. I've actually kept the same walkout in pro ball too, so kind of keeping it alive.
So kind of give us a sense. Last 2 years, 2 summers ago, we were in Omaha, Nebraska, one step away from Chicago. What has this journey been like in the last 2 years for you?
It's been a whirlwind. Honestly, it moved so quickly, and it feels like yesterday that we were in Omaha and playing with that team. So I've been enjoying the process. It's definitely a grind, and it goes by quick, but getting to see some familiar faces on other teams. Got to play Michael Turner, Jalen Battles, Patrick Wickland earlier in the year. So getting to see some Razorbacks in pro ball is definitely a good thing.
Conor, walk us through the life of a minor leaguer.
It's just all baseball all the time. Obviously, in the season, we're playing 6 days a week, and then you get one off day. So it's not like college where we were just playing on the weekends and get to enjoy a few off days. It's a long, steady grind, and it's pretty much a year-round sport. We get into off-season camps pretty early in October, November, and kind of just trying to fix all the little things leading up into spring training, which starts January.
Conor, this is Clay Henry. I'm going to take you back to Omaha in that Stanford game. Number 2 Stanford with a loaded lineup. I thought that was as well-pitched game as I've seen by a Razorback in that kind of a setting. Tell us how you've changed as a pitcher in the last 2 years as you've gone into pro ball, and maybe there's a little tighter managing aspect to it.
There's definitely been adjustments. As soon as I got in the Cubs organization, they added a new pitch called a sweeper, pretty much a slider, but with a lot of horizontal movement and kind of just dialing in the changeup. I really only had 2 pitches when I was at Arkansas, fastball and then the hard curveball. So kind of just adding to my arsenal and just learning how to keep hitters off balance even more. With all the guys up here, everybody's a good hitter. They can stick to their approach and kind of just playing your own game where you know how your arsenal works and how you can use it to get out of big spots or attack hitters.
We're talking with Greenwood Bulldog, Arkansas Razorback, and Iowa Cubs pitcher Conor Nolan here on the Morning Rush. Conor, you reference some of your former teammates that you've gotten a chance to play. Some of your former teammates are coming back to Fayetteville for another season, and I would say unexpected. Will McIntyre, a fellow pitcher, and then Kendall Diggs. How important do you think they can be for Arkansas and Dave Van Horn this next year? I think it's great. To have guys like that have been there and done it and seen how to win in the postseason is, that's a great thing to have on a team. And those older leaders can really teach the young guys how to step up to the plate early. Obviously, there's going to be some freshmen that come in that are going to need to take big spots, big roles, with losing some guys last year to the draft, or this year, I guess. And I think just having the wisdom, the knowledge, and they have been around the coaching staff for, 4 or 5 years now. They can really add some good advice in there, too, that maybe the coaching staff wouldn't have told them.
Conor, the old adage that we hear around the Southeastern Conference is, the weekends in the SEC are like playing double-A ball. You've been there and done both. Is that comparison or that contrast accurate, or how would you say your time at Arkansas and pitching against SEC batters has prepared you for where you are today?
I think it's really similar. I think it's more like high A baseball. Obviously there's 2 or 3 really good guys in the lineup in the SEC that can, put the ball out of the park, and that's what you're really worried about. It's them creating damage. Double A was a little bit different because everybody in the lineup can hurt you. There's pop all throughout the lineup, and you really got to tread lightly in those spots. So I think it's a mix. There's some teams that are better, some teams that are worse. So high A or double A, I think, is a good comparison.
And so we're at AAA Des Moines. Where all do you guys travel to? Have you had a chance to look at it? And what might be the closest you'll ever get to Arkansas, in this journey right now?
We just played in Memphis, actually. Just got back early Monday, so we had a weekend series there, and I think that's the closest we get. We traveled back to Omaha. I know we make a trip out to Rochester, but Memphis is definitely the closest stop we make.
And you had a good showing in Memphis, if I remember correctly. 5 innings, 0 runs given up. Did it just kind of seem like an ordinary walk in the park versus having to move up a classification?
It was weird. I mean, I was kind of just taking in the moment and trying to, get the nerves out. But, I looked up and it was the 4th inning pretty quickly. So I was very surprised that it went how it did, just with, all the nerves I had, playing with a new team, different catcher. It's all different, but it's the same game. You just go out there and throw strikes and good things happen.
Conor, this is Clay again. Take us back to when you were making the decision between football and baseball. And I think there was a kind of a winter bullpen that kind of flipped the switch. Dave, just take us back to the conversations and the thought process, because that had to be difficult.
It was very difficult. I mean, I love football and enjoyed my time playing football at Arkansas. I had a lot of great memories there and had a lot of close friends that I made. But ultimately, earning a starting spot as a freshman, getting the amount of innings I did, really put me in a position to really dive deep into baseball, commit all my time. And, I'll say it's paid off. I mean, I'm in professional baseball and living out the dream of trying to make it to the big leagues. So at the time, it was a tough decision, but looking back, I have no regrets about it. And I'm glad the way it went, and just really appreciative of the coaching staff, Coach Van Horn, obviously, Coach Hobbs, for helping me get to this point.
So growing up in a place like Greenwood, Arkansas, Sebastian County, what from that experience and your time there has molded you into who you've become today?
I think there's so many good influences there. Obviously, I spent my time in high school there, and just the work ethic that is taught by the football program, the baseball program, is really the biggest takeaway that I have. I mean, there's a time to be a kid, obviously, in high school. Still enjoyed my time, but there's also a time to work. And I think having that balance and knowing how to manage a schedule has really set me up because, right now you get to AAA and kind of your career, you do what you need to do. You get your workouts in. There's not really anybody sitting there telling you need to do this or that. They give you a plan, and it's up to you to make those decisions and do what you need to do.
Yeah. How many times have you moved? How many places have you lived in the last 2 years?
Probably 4 now. I actually moved out to Phoenix for the off season. So moved out to Phoenix, was in South End, Indiana, Knoxville, Tennessee, and now Des Moines.
So, becoming an expert at it.
I'm trying. A few more years, I might be a road warrior. I don't know.
Hopefully the next move's to Chicago, right?
That would be great. That'd make it a little bit easier move, I think.
We got a Big C in here is a huge Cubs fan, Conor. So I know he, like many others, would love to see you in a Chicago Cubs uniform pitching in Wrigley Field. Man, we really appreciate you joining us this morning, kind of giving an update on what's been going on with you, and can't wait to see that news update coming out of Chicago that you've been promoted at some point, whether it's this year or down the road, man.
I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it too, and really appreciate you guys having me on.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Here's Brooke Burke for Skechers' new Workout Walker footwear.
Do you know the world's #1 most popular form of exercise? It's walking. So you'd think that there would be tons of performance sneakers specifically made for walking, but there aren't. However, one company has you covered, Skechers, the comfort technology company, with their newest performance walking sneaker, Skechers Workout Walker. And it takes walking footwear to new heights. Because Skechers Workout Walker is fully loaded with all the technology you need to get the most out of your walk. It starts with a carbon-infused plate in the sole to add more spring to your step. Plus, it has Skechers Hyper Burst foam for unbelievable cushion with incredible bounce. Plus, Workout Walkers feature Goodyear rubber for enhanced traction and durability, and Arch Fit insoles with podiatrist-certified arch support for amazing comfort step after step. Make your walking workout more comfortable than ever with Skechers' new Workout Walker. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice, Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Bill Belichick is dating a 24-year-old right now by the name of Jordan Hudson. There's quite a difference in age between the two.
And she was just instantly attracted to the...
Apparently they kept in touch, and they swapped contact information, and now she is dating him.
Now they're swapping a little more than contact information.
That is true. Here's my thought on this. If you're her and you're like, Dad, I want to introduce you to my boyfriend, and she brings home Bill Belichick. I mean, I thought I was reading an SNL skit.
She's
when I read
24.
this.
Her parents are probably
his age.
No. Her parents are probably my age.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
Oh, good. Too Stupid Thursday, Chuck. Welcome in, man.
Guys, how's it going?
Man, it's going okay. We got some basketball we'll discuss with you first, but Dean Weber, unfortunately, and Matt's been kind of telling us off there, he hasn't been in good health for a while. 50-plus years with Razorback Athletics. 416 straight football games that he was on the sidelines as the athletics trainer. Clay told us some great stories yesterday, Chuck. I'm sure you have one or two you could get into at some point.
Well, Dean was a remarkable man. There'll never be another one like him. I had an office by Dean for close to 5 years in Barnhill, I guess starting around 2008, somewhere around in there. It's been a while, but you guys know that if I spend more than an hour in the office, I mean something's wrong. I'm just not an office guy. But Dean made coming to the office really the highlight of my day, and we were pretty close, and I loved him, and a lot of people did, and it was yesterday for me to hear all the outpouring and the things that people said and the difference that he made in their lives. You rattled off a lot of numbers there, Ty. And I got to be honest with you, I've known Dean a long, long time. I didn't know that about the straight games. I didn't know all the, people who quoted numbers. I didn't know any of them. He was just my friend. He was just a good guy. And I never even thought about that. He was a great trainer. And I don't know that I've ever seen someone who has the relationship with former players that Dean had. And when you see that relationship, you realize the relationship between the trainer and the athlete. And you realize that it goes so much deeper than just the body. I mean, it's as much the mind as it is the body. You're training the mind the same way you're training the body. And Dean was the best at that. Man, I'll miss him. I'll miss him. I'll just miss the phone calls. Dean would call, and you talk for an hour at least, and but you felt better about the world after you hung up. And Dean had a knack for making people feel better about the world, and everybody that was in contact with him is going to miss that.
What a gift! I mean, we'd all love to be able to connect with other human beings on the level he was able to. And it probably just comes back to empathy and caring. But that's the problem. Most of us don't have time or take the time or just have the personality makeup like he did to connect the way he did and care about people as deeply as he did. Because, like you said, the player connections. Gerald Skinner, the late Gerald Skinner, was a lineman in the 70s. Great relationship with Dean Weber years years after he played. Matt Jones. I mean, you could go through every era and you could find a player that, the Darren McFaddens. I mean, we're just picking out a handful here that still kept up and had those phone calls and what you're talking about with Dean, decades after their playing days.
Well, I've always believed this, and I believe it more now than ever. Kids know when you care and when you don't. Players know when you really care, and they know when it's just lip service. And Dean really cared. And beyond that, and I know this from having worked with and been around several former players, a lot of those guys feel like as soon as they walk off campus, they're forgotten. And sometimes they are, unless they got money to give. And Dean always kept in contact with those people. We've had players, and, we celebrate the successes of our former players, as we should. But not everybody's been successful that played for the Razorbacks. Dean kept up with them, too. And a lot of those guys would probably tell you a story about maybe a card from Dean arriving with some money in it. Or, when guys were really down and out, and I mean really down and out, Dean was the one guy that cared about him. I mean, when they were 40 years old, and if you played for Arkansas and you were part of that football team and Dean worked with you, you were part of his family for life. And he was really remarkable in that regard.
Listening to the phone calls, listening to the conversations, really enjoyed hearing Matt give his personal perspective because they had obviously a very close personal relationship. But I think Dean was as much mediator as he was trainer. He'd be the mediator between the coach and the athlete, or maybe between the assistant coach and the head coach, or maybe between the administration and the group of coaches. He was kind of a go-between or a liaison in so many ways.
He ran the program for the better part of 20 years. The players and the people inside the department know this. Dean ran that department. He did everything but coach the team. And he handled travel. He handled everything. I mean, he handled everything. He was the director of football operations before there was a title. He did it just in addition to being the trainer. He did it for free, if you want to know the truth. But Dean ran the show. And there was a time, the players will tell you this, with the exception of the head coach, and Coach Broyles, obviously, there was nobody with more stroke in that athletic department than Dean Weber.
Yeah.
If you fell on Dean's bad side, woe be to you.
Yeah.
But if you were on his good side, you were there for life. Now, look, Dean was not always a warm, fuzzy guy. It was tough love, but they knew that he loved them. And when they know that you love them, you can say anything directly to them. And that's the way Dean was. He was the resident curmudgeon in his final years, and he felt like he'd earned that. And so he enjoyed it. And but I'm going to tell you, Dean loved people.
Well,
and they loved him back. And we'll miss him.
I remember coming to your office in one of the few hours you were in it in Barnhill and met Dean, and I only met him a few times, did not have the relationship that we're describing he had with others. It's just met him in passing a few times. But I quickly learned this, and I wasn't the beneficiary of this, but you explained it to me, and I got to see it firsthand, even though it didn't turn out for me the way I wanted it to. If you wanted some swag, if you needed a shirt, if you needed some sweatpants, or you needed anything that had that logo on it, he had the keys to the kingdom there. He was the gatekeeper in the day on all the free swag.
You know, it was a little different back then. I don't know that they made you log everything back then, or if they did, Dean knew how to log it to where everything looked okay. But it's it's not quite like that now. Everything's got to be logged, and it's not the sweetheart deal that a lot of people think it is. Back in the day, it might have been, not so much now. But, yeah, Dean was, you know, and look, players tell stories about, you know, and it's hard to imagine now in the pre-NIL days, but they didn't have any money. You know, a player might not have the money to buy his parents. Sean Rochelle told this story about how he was a GA and he didn't have any money. And Dean asked if he bought his parents a Christmas present. And he said he didn't have any money. And so he said, well, let's go shopping. And so they go in there, and he, gets some Razorback gear for his dad and his mom. And he was that kind of guy. He, he had a sense of knowing when you needed him. And he was always there.
Even Dave Van Horn, as we close down this conversation, even Dave Van Horn had some things to say about Dean, which, again, met him as a player back in the day and knew him in the athletics department.
I've known Dean since I was a player here, 1981, 82. I mean, Dean, I just have a lot of memories of him because we all were in the same area up there in the Broyle Center, football, baseball, everybody. It was football's area, but we were all in there. We didn't feel comfortable in there all the time, didn't want to be in there getting any treatment. But Dean, he took control of that room. I mean, you could hear him snapping around and popping off and getting right back with those young guys and getting after guys that he didn't feel that should be in there. And just, his career has been so many years here at the University of Arkansas and, was finished up in the foundation. And he's always been a big fan of baseball here. And he'd come by and we'd talk a little bit. Every time I'd go by there, we'd talk. And he'd always want me just to come and sit in his office. And we'd talk about the old days for a little bit. But just it's super sad to see someone that we all loved and he loved this university and this athletic department, pass on.
When Dean was inducted into the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame in Little Rock, I guess it was 2018, I emceed that night, and I'll never forget that. Dean gave a speech that brought the house down, as you might imagine. But the players will tell you, and I say this with love in my heart, he was the trash-talkingest old man that ever lived. I mean, he could give it right back to those kids. And that's why they loved him, because, he spoke to them. People know when you're talking at them and when you're talking to them. And he talked to them. He might smart off to them, but he made sure, that their mom had what she needed. And he was just that kind of guy. And I can tell you that, when you walked into his office, there's, he and Dean Smith were pals.
Yeah.
He came to Arkansas from North Carolina. He tells the story about how Bill Guthridge was moments away from being our basketball coach as opposed to Eddie Sutton. He knows the whole story. And because he was from North Carolina and knew all those guys. And just a wealth of information. Administrations change in college athletics, and we've had two changes. Coach Broyles to Jeff Long and then to Hunter. I don't know candidly if Dean's value was ever fully recognized by the people that came after Coach Broyles. And I say that I don't mean that critically. It's just how the world works. I don't know that his value to that department was ever fully appreciated by the people that came after Broyles. But there was a day when there was not anything that happened in Arkansas athletics that did not go through Dean Weber. And those that have been around a long time know that and respected that. And Dean was an icon. I had an office next to him, as I said. I can't tell you the number of times I sat there and thought, my God, Dean Weber's over there. Or you'd walk by his office just on an afternoon. McFadden would be in there. Some Razorback great, some kid that was my idol when I was growing up. They were just pals with Dean, and they always came back. I don't know that I've ever seen a former player have a relationship with his old trainer the way McFadden did with Dean. I promise you, Darren McFadden cried this week, and they were tight.
Well, if there's two more legendary players than McFadden and Matt Jones, I don't know who they are.
Matt loved him too, and Dean loved Matt.
Yeah, and I since Matt's been working with us, I can't count them on my two hands. The times, hey, I can't. I'm gonna leave here, or I need to do the show from this location because me and Dino are having lunch, or I'm taking Dino to dinner. A dozen.
Dino had regular meals.
Yes.
Dean had regular meals with former players, and they weren't just the stars. He had certain days, I go eat lunch with this guy, or I go eat dinner with this guy. We do this every week. And it wasn't just like most weeks. It was every week.
Yeah.
And when you had an appointment with Dean, you had an appointment, and you better be there. And but just I won't say a lifetime of memories for me, but having worked there and been around him, I didn't, obviously didn't play, and the players had relationships with Dean that the rest of us don't have. But again, for me, he was just a friend, and man, I'm going to miss him.
You mentioned Sean Rochelle, who I know you work with on the Learfield side some, and him and Dean were exceptionally close from their days at the foundation and going back to his days as GA. And I know they had lunch on a regular basis. I don't think I'd say Sean. I consider Sean a friend. I sent him just a condolence text yesterday, and I don't think he'd mind sharing what he returned. Me sharing what he returned. He said, "Dean is iconic in every sense of the word. The world will be hard-pressed to find another who impacted so many lives. He was a true giver." And I think that's the essence of who Dean Weber was right there is what Sean had to say.
Well, let me say this. I hope at some point in my life I have someone that's as good a friend to me as Sean Rochelle was to Dean. Sean was as good a friend to Dean as a man could be, right to the end. I mean, right to his last day.
I think they had lunch about every day,
Yeah, well, Sean was with him a lot toward the end. And look, there were a lot of people, Coach Hatfield, Lewis Campbell. There were a lot of people that were there regularly to see Dean. I think they kept a list and our book, and it's full. It was a pilgrimage for some people to come see Dean before the end. I mean, it really was. Now, they're going to have a celebration of life around the spring football game.
Yeah, April 18th, I think it is.
Yeah, the reason they're going to do that is because, Dean had it mapped out. I'm not going to get real personal here, but Dean had it mapped out how he wanted it to go. And it was written down. And he didn't want, he knew the players would come in. I mean, he knew a lot of people would come in. And didn't want them to have to come in twice. So let's just, if it happens at a certain time, let's try to do it around the spring game, And so it's happened at a certain time. And
thinking of others ahead of himself in his own.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the essence of Dean.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't know that unless you've really been around it, I don't know that it's – and look, there are people that work there that I don't think understand it. The relationship he had and the outpouring that's going to happen when they have that service. Anybody that ever put on that uniform that can be there will be there.
Yeah, and I know they have endowed a scholarship for athletic trainers, and I bet if they want to raise $1 or $1 million that weekend for that endowment, that former group of players probably can well heal that endowment as much as they want.
You think about this. This is a team from 1979. You think about this. These are guys that after their playing days pooled their money. And I'm in an endowed scholarship. It's not just, hey, let's pay for this kid to go to school. I mean, it goes on into perpetuity, theoretically anyway. And they fund this scholarship each and every year in the name of their trainer. Former players. They're under, they could do it if they wanted to, certainly under no obligation, but they did this to honor Dean. And I've heard him say many times that's the greatest honor of his life.
Well, that's it's something, again, you don't see nationwide or across colleges, the impact that someone leaves. But, again, 50-plus years in the athletics department.
Yeah,
it's really hard to –
him and Broyles would be the only two. I don't know of anyone else.
Phil was contemplating that yesterday. I mean, you think about someone – Frank, of course, was around for forever. But you think about someone that, again, started basically. I mean, 3/4 of his life was in Fayetteville.
Dean Weber's career with the Razorbacks may have been longer than Coach Broyles, if you think about it.
Well, he was here. He came here in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Came here in the early 70s, and
both were over 50 years, though.
It was hard to imagine life without, it was hard to imagine there would be life in that athletic department when Frank Broyles went away. But there was, and life's gone on. And it's going to be hard to imagine that athletic department, that campus, without Dean being there, for me. because he's just, and anyone that knows him knows, I mean, he got to the office at 4:35 in the morning. He was the one that turned on the lights and turned them off at the end of the day. And that's just how he was.
He left the role of he wasn't actively the athletic trainer. Was it? I guess when Petrino came in, was that when the change was somewhere around?
That was when the change happened.
Yeah.
Now he did some things on the periphery with football for a couple of years. He was not the trainer per se, but he did a few things here and there. But now I will say this: anyone that's ever worked in that department, anybody that coaches a team, when Dean was there, and they knew of Dean and they had a relationship with Dean, they might call him up and ask him. And anybody that worked in that athletic department, if you had an ailment, you called Dean before he called the doctor.
Yeah.
Because Dean could tell you what the deal was and he'd tell you who to call.
Yeah.
My guess would be every day there was somebody in that athletic department that said, "Hey, Dean, man, my shoulder's been hurting," or, "You know, Dean, my wife's ankle's not feeling real good," or, "My kid did this." And Dean, you know, "Well, what happened?" And you'd tell him, and sometimes he'd say, "Well, just bring him by. I'll take a quick look at him."
I'm glad you brought that up. We had 2 calls yesterday. I think one was on halftime, one was on Ruskin and Zach. A UPS driver stepped off the curb, and he called his buddy. It's like, "Hey, let me call my friend Dean." And so you got this UPS guy that goes to the Arkansas Athletics Department, and Dean fixes him up. Then you had a high school kid at Fayetteville that busts his ankle or something, and one of the trainers like, "Hey, I want to make sure." He called Dean, and he looked at the high school kid. So you're spot on though with that, Chuck. That's just
I heard 2 or 3 other stories.
Yeah, and those were
that.
just a couple calls I heard yesterday.
I think Dean was probably Coach Broyles and his family's, you know, darn near their personal physician for a number of years. I mean, Dean diagnosed everything, and he was pretty good at it.
Yeah, and we got text in here. So Mason is a younger Arkansas fan. He texted on the McCarty Daniel hotline. He said, "I didn't understand the impact that Dean had on our program until the last couple days. It's truly fantastic to hear how everyone said how amazing he was. It sounds like we should all strive to live and love like Dean did. My condolences, Woo Pig." So I
nowhere else in the country are they talking about a trainer that passed away the way we have with Dean.
Yeah,
he's royalty in our state.
And
he was one of a kind.
And
that's for sure.
Chuck, I know this it's never easy talking about someone at their after their passing, but I do appreciate you and Clay kind of sharing some stories on this, because like Tommy said and I said, we don't have them, so it's enlightening to our audience this morning. Someone that's actually worked hand in hand with them to a certain capacity.
I do know that, and it was heartening for me yesterday. I will tell you, and I didn't listen to all of it, but I listened to a good bit of it. And I loved hearing people tell those stories. I thought it was fantastic.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America, N.A.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win. Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Ring, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
1 against 1. Hawkins all the way. Good. Great play by Daryl Hawkins.
Some of you will remember the game and the year that highlight was from. Texas Elite 8, 1990, as we bring in our guest now, Daryl Hawkins. Daryl, appreciate you joining us this morning, man. I kind of had to contain you last night, your excitement level, because I know you're pumped about this season and Cal and everything. Before we talk about this upcoming season, kind of take us back a little bit. I guess, 35 years ago, coming up this next year, that 1990 run to the Final Four.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know if I was pumped up. I think, Ty, you might have been more pumped up because you just got a house. But, no, man, hope you guys are doing up there. Everybody's doing great up there. 1990 was special. It was everything kind of came together that year. Our first year, we were a bunch of freshmen out there running around, trying to figure it out. I think we got there mostly on talent. But then in 1990, Todd, Lee, Lindsey Howe, Mario Credit, myself, Warren Lynn, Arlen Bowers, just a lot of guys that just, we started to click. And, we just went on a great run that year. And it was exciting. Ron Hury, that was a really, really good team. We really had a good team. We were strong. We could start anybody we wanted to. We were deep. And the fans were great. They got behind us. And I think that was really the big turn in what Arkansas basketball is becoming today.
Yeah, because that was Nolan's first Final Four team, obviously. And, Daryl, when we look back all these years later, there's been a lot of guys that have been individually honored. We had a chance to catch up with Oliver Miller, who's going to go in the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame next month. But you guys as a team that haven't necessarily been honored. And you saw Cal in North Carolina recently, and you guys talked about a reunion of sorts coming up maybe this next season.
I saw Cal. I was out there with the Adidas tournament. I was out there with Tracy McGrady's team. I coached his team. And saw Cal, saw all the coaches and everything, and then just went over there, said hello and speak to him. And, shockingly, I don't put myself at that pedestal that a lot of people do. He actually remembered who I was, and, we had a really, really good conversation. And actually, Cal and I coached against each other when I was at U of H down there with Tom Penders when he was at Memphis, and he had Derrick Rose. So, we talked about a lot of that. And also we talked about the times we played at Arkansas and Coach Richardson. And, I told him that, we had talked about it, because last year before Muss left, Muss and I kind of talked about it. And then when I mentioned it to him, he totally just took the bull by horns and ran with it and said, hey, we got to get it done. We got to get you up here. He seemed really, really genuine. So, yes, I guess you could say that was my emotional part of it because, he really, really is reaching back and, making a lot of the guys from that era feel really, really welcome back home and, a part of what's going on.
What does that mean to you and your fellow alumni? Why is that so important? Explain to the audience the appreciation, the emotion that comes along with that feeling when you're welcomed in by the head coach.
Well, it's hard to put words on it. It really means a lot because it's not more or less that we want to be honored as far as individuals. We did our thing and, we're happy and content with what we did. But for me, and I believe a lot of guys that I've spoken with, it's more about our families, our wives, our children. Some of us have grandchildren. Some guys have moved on, they've passed away. And, but their children, I think Lee was at the girls' nationals. And his daughter plays, she's a great basketball player. And he ran into Larry Marks' daughter, who played, and was able to talk to her and see her. He sent us a picture and everything, and talked about the reunion. And she said, "Oh yeah, she's coming. She's coming." So it's more or less our families being able to see what we've done and kind of be able to put them out there. And then with Coach Cal just bringing everybody back, I think what it does is it brings everybody back in our age group along with the new age group to really let you know what Arkansas basketball is about. And a person like Cal, he knows everything about it. He's talked to Coach Richardson, he's talked to us, and he's generally trying to get it done for us up there.
Daryl Hawkins, former Razorback, with us here on the Morning Rush. It's not like the basketball program was without hope. Everyone felt under Muss this was a second weekend team and potentially a Final Four team, but it seems like everyone's went to the next level in what they now feel this program can be under Coach Cal. As you talk with your teammates, as you kind of see what's going on, what do you think is the ceiling moving forward with John Calipari at the head of the bench?
Well, first of all, you got to give Muss a lot of credit for what he did.
Absolutely.
Muss did a great job. I had a good relationship with Muss, and guys did communicate with Muss. So I don't want to make it seem like this is what Muss did was not get this program back where it belongs. Cal has won a national championship. Cal has always put a team in the national spotlight. That's something that he's done forever. I think people give Cal a lot of credit for what he does on the sideline. They give him a lot of credit for what he does as far as recruiting, and he's going to do that. But what I do believe is people still need to understand it is very, very hard to win a national championship. It's 360 teams, 300-plus teams out there. And you just can't say, okay, well, Cal's going to win this national championship for us next year or the 2 years out. No, what Cal does is he's going to put us in a position every year to get to the Sweet 16. And, now you're talking about 16 teams to have a chance to win a national championship. And that's something that he's going to be able to do. And the ball has to bounce right. I tell people all the time that the year we went to the Final Four, the ball bounced right for us a couple of times, and the couple of years that we missed it, the ball bounced differently. But we went to the Sweet 16, Elite Eight twice. So there's opportunity. He's got a great recruiting class coming in. He's got Wagner coming in, as you guys know. And, a couple of McDonald's All-Americans teamed up with him with Boogie and Knox and those guys. And so it's just getting together, meshing, and, playing good basketball at the right time and making sure we got about 20,000 in there going crazy on the hill.
Can't wait to figure out what SEC game y'all are going to come back to again. Daryl Hawkins is our guest. We're live from Parties this morning. Daryl, in your interaction with Cal, you spoke to me last night a little about the energy, and you felt like he really wants to win it for this state. And I think there's a lot of Kentucky fans that felt like he lost his fire. Based on your conversation with you, it sure seems like that fire's been relit here in Fayetteville.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that Coach Richardson used to say to us all the time. He said, "You guys created that bear, so you got to feed it." And everybody knows Kentucky's probably one of the biggest bears out there. Winning is something that they expect to do. And I think sometimes people take winning for granted. And, I don't think he's ever lost his energy for it. I think sometimes, and like I said, I had conversations with him, and he never mentioned this or anything like that. But you can just see how revitalized he is. The staff, he just seems like he's got a new lease on life. And I think it's not that he wants to win it more, I believe, for Arkansas or anything like that than he did for Kentucky, because I think Kentucky was good for him. But I just think he wants to get down here and just prove, hey, he still knows how to put the pieces together and get out there and compete for a national championship. And there's no better place to do it than at Arkansas, if you ask me.
Daryl, one of the things I think about is just the talent that was around you. With a guy like Darius Cuff, who's making his college decision tonight, the other 5 stars you keep seeing it. Does it feel like that Cal's going to bring the same talent level that you guys had on campus 30-plus years ago?
I definitely think he's going to bring the talent level, but I think what he's going to do is bring a piece that is very, very hard to bring. And Coach Richardson did a great job of it. You can see the coaches that are at the top, they're doing a great job of it. They're bringing guys in that are going to develop a relationship. Chemistry, being friends off the court. I mean, we were like brothers. I mean, Todd, Lee, we were all like brothers. It wasn't a separation of tears. And everybody does tears. There wasn't a separation of tears. We all hung out. We all did things together. And I believe he's going to bring that piece together. Because when you're playing talented teams, you got to care for one another. You got to care for one another. You got to have a passion for one another. If you don't care for your brother on that team, and I mean really care. I mean, people, this is different. Playing at this level, trying to do things, it's different. It's not just putting a bunch of pieces together for top players. You have to care about one another. And I believe Cal and that coaching staff is going to bring that piece together, and that's very, very important. And it's very, very important that the fans and the players have a connection where they truly care about one another. And that's, I believe, that little missing piece that's going to take them over the top. And that's what we had. We had that every year, no doubt about it.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what, is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. If you need to, you can shop us online at them web things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hogs.
beat the summer heat with a cool cash payout. The new $350,000 cash payout scratch-off ticket from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is on sale now. And it's loaded with over $12 million in prizes of $100 or more. That means big wins happen more often, and you could be next. Try the new $350,000 cash payout ticket today. Play, scratch, and win. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home, drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, a mainly clear sky. We drop down into the upper 60s to lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine, highs in the mid-80s north, low 90s south. And then we could encounter an isolated shower across the north on Saturday. Otherwise, cooler upper 70s north, mid-80s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 20 days. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Number 2 Texas in 80.
No, they were number 1.
They were number 1.
They'd beat OU the week before in Red River and came in just highly touted, and Arkansas jumped on them early and often won big. And that day, the weather was crazy. The beginning of the game was that weird kind of greenish sky, weird feeling. Too hot for October, and that big front moved in during the game, and thunderstorms they'd stopped that game now 100 times, and played right on, and fantastic finish. And that night I went home at a late hour, turned left down Maple, headed down Stadium Drive, and the south end zone scoreboard was still on at 4:30 in the morning, 42-11.
Don't miss the Morning Rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com.
Hey, this is Taylor Green, Arkansas quarterback, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
My father takes naps all the time, and he's not a drunk like I am.
He flip that out for me.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I remember being like, you want to put some shrimp on the barbie, mate?
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Just like when I asked earlier for Mama Tried, and he said, what's that? And I said, Merle Haggard. He said, who's Merle Haggard?
This is the best of the Morning Rush. Thanks for listening to the Hit That Line Podcast Network. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now. Subscribe to the Hit That Line Podcast Network.
This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
All right, so I got a brother. It's about the same difference as you and Cash. Again, Kane's with us this morning. How competitive are you guys in everyday life? I'm not just talking about when he's rushing you on the football field. I'm talking about in every single facet of your life. How much do you guys push each other on a daily basis?
Everything we do. Like, literally everything. Like, we'll be – we can get to the car the fastest. I mean, something as little as that, like, so stupid. We didn't used to be like that back when we were 3rd and 4th grade, but it's changed over time. Cash has kind of grown into himself, and he's – I don't want to say he's being himself now, and he wants to win everything he does because he's always seen me win in life, and he's like, okay, well, it's my turn. Let me go. So we compete in everything we do.
That competitiveness aspect. Again, Cash is a senior. You're a junior heading into this season. Just talk about how you maybe matured on the football field since you started as a freshman. You did travel ball back in the day to where you are now as the starting quarterback as a junior.
Yeah, I think I took a lot of pride in this offseason trying to gain a little bit of weight because Coach Young, Coach Hogan, Coach Hales, everybody from my freshman year, it's kind of difficult. I mean, you're learning. We have so many plays. I don't want to say we have so many plays. We have so much stuff out of so many different variations. That's kind of hard to pick up on, and Coach Young has taught me everything I needed to know, Coach Hogan as well, on just the game. So I tried to take a lot of pride into gaining weight this offseason instead of more of the X's and O's of it because they've already taught me a bunch of it. So I'm weighing about 205 now instead of last season I played about 190.
Sure sounds like a steak diet. Your dad is telling me he sends me occasionally the diet. It's just it's all steak or whatever. So it's definitely helped. So you think about like I wonder when you have conversations with Lincoln Riley, Coach Petrino, all these Lane Kiffin, all these different high caliber football coaches, what are they wanting for you to get better at as you continue to progress as a high school quarterback?
I'd say velocity. Velocity is probably the biggest thing, and I think with me working with Jeff Christensen down there and Jared Park down in Dallas with through deep training, they have Patrick Mahomes. I've been training with Trey Lance down there, Aiden O'Connell, and that's a big thing that like over the past, I want to say 2-3 months, I've changed my throwing motion a lot.
It's like over the top now, right?
It's just more of I'm more in my legs instead of using all my arm, and I haven't thrown this good in my life. I used to have arm pain for days upon end, and I couldn't throw. I'd be like, Coach, I can't throw today, man. Like, my arm is gone. And now I can sit here and throw for 6-7 days a week and not have any pain at all. So it's a big difference.
Greenwood High School quarterback Kane Archer will be a junior this year here with us on the Morning Rush. If you've got a question, you can text those in, 877-377-6963. You caught up with one of our old Morning Rush mates and Razorback great, Greenwood great, Tyler Wilson, a few weeks ago. Y'all threw it around. What was that like to spend an hour or two with Tyler down there at Greenwood and do a workout with him? And maybe what'd you learn from one of the greats that came before you at Greenwood?
Yeah, I mean, it was super cool just to be able to pick his brain for an hour or 2 hours, sitting out there. He taught me some things that was more of, we don't go under center at Greenwood, and he taught me a couple things, and I picked it up really quick. And the dude's overall just super cool. He was willing to help me. He gave me his phone number. He was like, hey, man, anytime you need me, just call me. So, I mean, I really appreciate him. He's super cool, and he can still spin it for being however old he is, 33 years old. So.
Yeah. Old guy, right?
Old guy.
Old guy, yes. 33.
33.
I've known your dad forever. We went to high school. What do people need to know about you? You've grown up here. You're an Arkansas kid. What do you like? What do you do besides football?
Sleep. Sleep, eat.
You a gamer?
Hey, you got an NCAA yet?
I haven't even downloaded it yet. I'm not gonna lie. Nope.
Wow.
All I do is sleep and eat, and sometimes I just hang out with my friends. So I'm a pretty boring guy.
Have you met Mahomes yet? You mentioned Jeff Christensen. You met any of the other guys that you also brought up?
Trey Lance.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been throwing with Trey Lance, Aiden O'Connell.
Could be the future Dallas quarterback, depending on how things shake out with Jerry World on that.
Yeah, maybe so. There's a couple more that I just can't think of off the top of my head.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
Give me the backstory on how that relationship got started, because, I mean, you just listed off a couple professional quarterbacks.
Yeah.
These quarterback coaches are busy.
Right.
They're wanting to make investment with someone they think is going to pay off. How did that relationship form?
So, I mean, I remember the day exactly. It was February 19th, about, I want to say 12:30, and I was sitting there laying on the ground at, I can't remember what high school it was in Texas. We were sitting there, and I was at a camp with the group I'm not going to say, but we get a call from Jeff Christian. He's like, hey, I've watched your tape. I really like you. Can you come over to my house tonight? He actually asked me to come throw with Trey Lance that day, and I was like, I couldn't. Like, my arm's dead, gone. And he was like, okay, come to my house at 8:00. So I'm like, crap, yeah. We're walking into Patrick Mahomes' quarterback trainer's house. Like, this is fixing to be something really big. And went out there, threw the next day, and I'm telling you, when I went out there and threw the best I've ever thrown in my entire life. That next day, I had arm pain. The day before that, I went out there, I had no pain, threw it the best. I walk in we actually threw at TCU's indoor. I walk in, and I see this big 6'4" dude, and I look over, and it's Trey Lance just standing there, and I'm like, this isn't normal at all. So I've just been going back to Dallas here and there. I'll drive 4.5 hours, stay with my dad's mom in Waco, and I'll drive 2 hours to train, 2 hours back. Just get working.
Who's the coolest athlete? I mean, I've seen pictures of you, CJ Stroud. You mentioned Lance. I mean, you've met a lot of coaches. Coolest athlete that you maybe been awestruck from actually meeting for the first time?
I'm not gonna say he's the coolest, but Bryce Young is just so down to earth, and like if I want somebody to marry my sister, it's gonna be Bryce Young. Like, he's super cool, man.
He walked into Carolina Panthers training camp looking like he was in middle school, like just very nonchalant.
Yeah,
and Nick Saban has said several good things about him. Again, we're talking with Kane Archer in studio with us, class 2026 Greenwood quarterback. Arkansas's fall camp has begun as of yesterday. Y'all's gets going on Monday. What are you looking forward to about that?
I'm ready to put the pads on. I mean, I was sitting there in the car yesterday, and I was listening to this song, and I mean, I just got chills sitting there. Like, I'm so ready to play. I've been ready to play since about mid-January, about a month after the state game, and I'm just ready. I mean, we've got our receiving core this year, and not just the starting four. We have so much depth behind that it's not even crazy. So if one of our guys goes down, we got somebody else just to step in. So I'm ready to see what the season's going to do for us.
Yeah, when Bobby Petrino was announced as offensive coordinator, it didn't take long for him to find his way to Greenwood and visit with you. What was that your initial introduction to Bobby Petrino, and how did that conversation go, and what's the relationship been like since then?
He actually came down when he was at Texas A&M. He came down to Greenwood, and then, gosh, I don't remember how long later, but he was back in, and I looked at him, and he wasn't wearing Texas A&M. He was wearing Arkansas. So, I mean, he's been coming down pretty frequently. Came down, saw Cash do some drills, saw Grant run some routes, saw Isaiah. The relationship's going good. I went up there to a camp, and he said really well. So, yeah, I mean, he's staying in contact.
As an athlete kind of coming through this NIL process, and it's not in Arkansas necessarily the way people think. I know there's some things working there, but what are the steps?
This is the best of the morning rush.
Hawkins all the way. Good. Great play by Daryl Hawkins.
1990 was special. Todd, Lee, Lindsey Howell, Mario Credit, myself. We started to click. We just went on a great run that year. We were strong. We could start anybody we wanted to. We were deep. Fans were great, and I think that was really the big turn in what Arkansas basketball is becoming today.
Don't miss the morning rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com.
Richard Smith now joins us, former Arkansas Razorback. Every single guy that caught a pass for this team last year in the wide receiver unit is back. You played the position, pretty good at it. What do you think about this group?
As a speed receiver, love to play in a system that Bobby Petrino has, and these guys have a great opportunity to make a name for themselves this year coming out in the system that Bobby Petrino runs.
Don't miss the morning rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com. Previously on Halftime.
But I just think there'll be a lot of chances where you just outnumber.
Easy sacks are nice, too. Yeah.
You outnumber the amount of blockers. Because it sounds to me they may bring the house a little bit.
Yeah, you bring in 4 strong, bring in 3 weak. They can't pick it up. They can't identify things. Those are easy sacks. I'm excited for this defense. I'm a big fan of a 4-down lineman.
Listen to Halftime, weekdays from 11 to 2, only on hitthatline.com. This is the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast presented by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company.
The celebration of Texas and Oklahoma arriving into the league can turn into one of these situations where all of a sudden Texas thinks they're running the show again. And if you've been around long enough to remember having to share the stage with these guys in the Southwest Conference, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
That you're trying to take. What are the things that you and your dad and your family have to think about now that that just add to the process?
Everybody's like getting so caught up in all like the money and stuff. I'm just sitting here like they haven't passed NIL laws for Arkansas yet. So high school athletes can't make any money, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. You want to sit here and pay a high schooler $1 million? They don't know what to do with that, right? I mean, I'm saying if I got handed me $1 million right now, I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this at all. Here you go, Dad. Right? So I mean, I don't know. We're trying to take it slow and just figure things out. We're listening to stories around and who we know of people that are getting deals and how it all works out.
You grow up a Razorback fan? You've been here a long time. I grew up. Who do you root for?
Yeah, I mean, I have to, right? I was born in Dallas, Texas, but I've lived here my whole life, so I am a Razorback fan.
We just got a text here from Dwight Kane. Say, you just turned the radio on. You sound like you're 28 years old and you've been doing the radio for 10 years. He's asking if Tommy's mentored you a little bit. And that's one of the things I've heard about you. It's the first time us meeting, talking a little bit, but you do have a maturity aspect. Was there like a point in your life where you're like, man, I got to grow up a little bit? If I'm going to be a starting quarterback of a college football team someday or a high school quarterback, early on in my underclassmen years, where was that point that you're like, I got to flip a switch?
Me and my dad talked about it about 2 years ago when he kind of finally realized, I don't want to say finally realized, but when he realized like this may be what I do. We talked about it. We came up to Fayetteville. We went to go meet with an agent or whatever, and we talked about it, and he was like, they're going to put so much time and effort into you if you're a starting quarterback in college that you can't mess up. Like, you cannot mess up. You have to be picture perfect. You can't You can't be seen doing the wrong things. You can't even be doing the wrong things. So I figured that out, and I was like, man, like, I don't need to be wasting my time hanging out with people that don't help me. So that's literally why I told you guys I just sleep and eat.
Sleep, eat, and play football.
Yep. And your dad can still jerk a knot in your tail. If you need to.
Yes, correct. And you know he does.
We had Coach Dick on yesterday, and he was giving us a preview of his team. You played Drake Lindsay a little bit last year. Drake, of course, is in Minneapolis, playing for the Gophers. Still a lot of guys, I guess, that return on that squad. That's y'all's first technical game. How early do you guys game plan for a scrimmage, or what does that look like in high school?
So we'll start. We won't spend long on Fayetteville at all. We'll start watching Bentonville West here in about, I probably say we'll start watching Wednesday, Bentonville West. We'll watch probably Monday, Tuesday, Fayetteville, and then we'll start, it'll be August, probably 7th when we start watching film on Bentonville West, and that puts us 24 days into film with Bentonville West. So, I mean, you're giving us 3.5 weeks to just prepare for them.
Yeah. I opened up the show asking you about your brothers. Your brother going to break the Arkansas all-time sacks record this year? I know he's gunning for it.
Hey,
you think he gets it?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's moving to linebacker, right?
He is moving to linebacker. Yep.
Okay.
So.
Yep. He doesn't, I mean, we all know when you're going to play D1 college football, if you're not 6'4", 250 pounds playing defensive end, you're probably not going to do it.
He's got a little of that crazy streak in him on the field. I mean, that's what you need to be good at that, right?
That dude can go. I mean, he never shuts it off, and he's not like that anywhere else but the football field. I can't tell you, he's weird.
He seems pretty like quiet for the most part outside of the football field.
Yeah, he's kind of non-social, but you put some pads and helmet on that dude, and you're like, what was that?
Aren't you glad that you're in a red jersey or he's not in another team each and every Saturday or Friday night?
Sometimes we have to blow. I mean, sometimes we can't even run a play in practice, so it gets kind of annoying.
He just wrecks the play.
Yes.
All right, see, Kane Archer with us, quarterback at Greenwood, one of the top recruits in the country in the 26th class. You've talked about your arm and you're changing there, but one thing you hadn't talked about is your wheels. I mean, one of the things that I've seen you do and one of the things that I've heard other coaches talk about is, hey, when it breaks down and you got to get out of that pocket and at least keep it from being negative yards, you've got the ability to get out and scramble and run a little bit.
Yes, and Coach Young hates it. Yeah. He gets so scared. And he told me.
But he doesn't say anything about it.
He doesn't say anything unless I
quiet, right?
Unless I cut it too close. I got to run out of bounds or slide, because last year I broke my wrist week 3 against Mountain Home, and he was like, yeah, you're not running again until week 14 state championship. And he told me the same thing probably 3 or 4 days ago. He was like, yeah, you're not running until week 14. And I was like, Coach, you're not going to do that to me. Like, I run. So you're not going to keep me from that.
Tommy mentioned like you being highly recruited, and I know your dad probably keeps you grounded, but I just wonder from like your vantage point, how do you not stay how do you stay away from being cocky or stay in the stuff you're supposed to do week in, week out to make sure y'all get back to another state championship?
Yeah, I was talking to my little brother about this the other day. I was listening to him play video games. He's my little stepbrother. They moved in the house about a year ago, and he's 10, 11 years old. He's playing quarterback, and he was kind of being a little mean to his friends, and I was like, Titus, like, listen to me. Nobody's going to like you if you're like this way. And he kind of sat there and thought about it for a second. And he was like, well, I guess you're right. And so I've kind of had that whole outlook on life since I was in 4th, 5th grade. Like, if you're going to be, nobody's going to like you if you just walk around all arrogant and cocky. So I've tried to figure out, hey, if I'm just myself, if I'm not fake to everybody, but if I'm nice to everybody and I'm who I am, everybody's going to be like, okay, I like this guy.
You want Cody, one of your tackles, to make sure he likes you, so he's not letting that O-A and the D into you and stuff like that.
Correct. And then I don't know if I haven't even told anybody this yet, but I bought our starting 4 new receivers pair of gloves the other day. Like, sometimes, like, you just got to show. I train quarterbacks on the side, and I was like, hey, man, like, what else am I going to do better with this money? Go out to eat. So I just bought them a new pair of gloves. They do a bunch of stuff for me. So
Kane, what are you, 16, 17 now?
I'm 16.
16.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things I noticed when, just down on field level when I'm working a game or something, but I see the young kids, the 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds that come up and just want to fist bump or just want to be near you. Yeah. How do you acclimate to that? How do you keep yourself grounded? Because you're right, you're a role model for these kids that are, 8, 10 years younger that want to be you someday. That to me seems like I wouldn't want my kid at your age to have that kind of pressure on him. How do you
How do you do it? Or do you even recognize that?
I do, but I mean, I wouldn't call it pressure. I just think, because I was the same way when I was a kid. Like, I used to watch Greenwood football, and I was like, man, that dude's really cool. I want to be like him. And I remember the feeling of...
Who was the quarterback when you were that age? I mean, because Tyler was gone by then, right?
Is that Connor?
I watched Peyton Holt play a little bit, and I was like, that's the dude I want to be like right there. I want to be like that dude right there. Everything about him. So I just looked up to him, and I remember the feeling I had inside, like, God, that dude's really cool. And if I thought if those kids think about what I thought about Peyton Holt, like, I get it, man. Like, a fist bump walking by for 5 seconds, staying 5 minutes after the game just to talk to these kids, just. I mean, I know how it feels.
Because you realize that's not commonplace in high school football.
Right. Yeah.
People forget that Peyton played quarterback, too, which is kind of, I mean, he's just an athlete, man.
My God.
He played basketball down there, too, Ty.
Yeah, he's a stud. Now, we're talking again with Kane Archer, class of 2026 Greenwood starting quarterback. Tommy's been there. I have not.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
So this Arkansas businessman is suing this exotic dancer for $3 million that he supplied to her with lavish stuff and a $720,000 home. This has been a decade-long. What he thought was an exclusive relationship, turns out she was dating someone during this time.
Are there just no honest strippers in this world anymore? That's just where this world has fallen to, Ty.
Surprised this thing lasted a decade. He's a business owner in Northwest Arkansas and apparently makes himself a decent amount of change. He would be better to invest his money in Arkansas athletics. Apparently the ROI was not what he thought it was going to be, Tommy. Did not return the dividends that he was expecting.
I think it was probably the frequency of the dividends that he was concerned with. Yeah, quarterly, like most married men, wasn't just going to work for him anymore.
Don't miss the Morning Rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
They will not get any pushback from me on a cell phone restriction. I think it's an outstanding idea. My kids have a differing opinion. I have opined and preached on this before. Expectation of 24/7 availability has ruined everything in this world. Because now you expect me to be available whenever you want to text or call me. Vice versa. Information at our fingertips. And the problem is it's a distraction at school. And listen, I'm addicted to mine just like you may. I mean, you just can't seem to even put your feet in motion without having your phone in your pocket or in your hand. I don't think my kids pay as much of attention in class as they should because them phones are there. And what are the teachers going to do? We are hamstringing and handcuffing our teachers who are trying to educate them on stuff. Listen, I need them to teach algebra because I can't. So I need my kids to pay attention. So I'm all for it.
Don't miss the Morning Rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
Number 25, Oliver Miller. That is not short. Oliver Miller and Lindsey Howell reaching in for a steal. With a power move.
Thank goodness for Oliver Miller. Without him, we wouldn't be packing our bags for a long summer vacation.
He is playing fantastic. He's the reason we won this series.
I got booed on draft night, so I wanted to make sure I turned the boos into cheers. And I went out there and I busted my butt, and I think I gained a little after Mother's Day.
Rolling around with the big O.
Hey, this is Oliver Miller, former Arkansas Razorback, the Big O. You're listening to the Morning Rush. Woo! Big Stewie, baby.
So what's your beef Wednesday on the Morning Rush? But nothing to beef about with the guy that we're getting a chance to talk to now. It's Oliver Miller, the Big O, former Razorback, the all-time leader in Arkansas basketball and field goal percentage, top 10 in a bunch of other categories. Played the NBA nearly a decade. Well, you're in Phoenix right now, man. You got your family down there where you made an impact initially as a rookie in the National Basketball Association. Playing a little golf, fishing a little bit?
I'm doing it all. Right now it's too hot to golf and fish, but once it cools down and I get my energy back, I'm going to be back out there.
What's the temperature like, Oliver, from living in Fort Worth to Fayetteville? And obviously you played a little bit in Phoenix, but now how hot does it get in Phoenix, Arizona?
Well, it's just the difference is the dry heat compared to humidity. You know, back in the South in Arkansas and Texas, you got to take a shower at least every 15 minutes because you're going to go outside, come back inside real sticky and sweaty. I can deal with the dry heat a lot better than humidity.
Talking with Arkansas legend Oliver Miller, and now, as of beginning of August, going to be a Southwest Conference Hall of Fame official member. Oliver, my only question is, man, why did it take this long?
And your guess is good as mine. I just want to probably it's all God's timing. Whenever he's ready to do things, he does things in his way. But I'm just honored and privileged to be able to finally be inducted. Even though the conference has been shut down for over, 30 years now? I'm honored.
Oliver, you mentioned the conference no longer existing. You were a part of a group that dominated the tail end of the conference. You, Todd, Lee, and others. And then you guys just kind of sent a welcome message across the bow to not just Kentucky, but the rest of the SEC. What was that transition like for you guys 30-some-odd years ago?
It was a little bit tough transition, traveling to different environments, going to different cities to what we used to 3 years in a row, playing against, different talent. Like Coach always said, we all men, we put our pants on the same way. So just go out and do the things that we need to do and what we know we're capable of doing, and that's how we just approach the game.
Oliver's going to be officially inducted to the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame coming up this August. You mentioned Coach there. I know that anytime we have a former Nolan Richardson player on, we got to ask about Coach. What do you remember about what led you to play in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Being from Texas, I really didn't want to stay in Texas because I knew that every weekend or every opportunity I have a chance to get home, I'd be at home. So I had my two last visits was Oklahoma once they got beat by Kansas in the national championship game. And right after I left from Oklahoma, went straight to Arkansas. But the biggest difference was, Arkansas made me feel at home right away. Even though it was during spring break, not too many students were on campus, but students that were there and the late Ron Hury, who was my host, and the late Larry Marks, they showed me around, and the few students that were there, they made me feel like I was already a part of the Razorbacks. Being that, being in SWC, that we would always be coming back to Texas to play, would give my mom and other family members the opportunity to always catch my game. So that was an easy decision for me. So that's why I chose Arkansas.
So you mentioned the aspect of your mom being able to watch a lot of your games being in Texas. With Texas and Oklahoma entering the league, A&M already being a part of it, is it going to be easier, in your opinion, for John Calipari to recruit Texas and Oklahoma kids like, say, it was when Nolan was recruiting you?
It's hard to say these days the way they pair them with the NIL rules, so you never know. Texas is being close to Arkansas, so maybe easy, the way Coach Cal recruits. Hopefully he can get the right athletes in there, and I know he's known for the one-and-done players, but hopefully he can get a couple of guys that will be there for at least 2 or 3 years and get us back to being in the top 10s and going deep in the NCAA tournament and hopefully bring another national championship. He has a resume of doing things like that, and I just hope that, we just get some kids that will stay at least a couple of years. And the best thing about these things now, we don't have to worry about none of our records being broken because kids will never stand long enough to break them.
I mean, you got that record, again, all-time field goal percentage leader at Arkansas. You had a feathery touch. You were a great passer. You had a bunch of, again, top 10 categories. You mentioned Cal there, though, Oliver. I wonder your impressions. What do you think about Coach?
Coach is a good coach, so, it's yet to be seen. And seems like everybody's accepting him and ready for the season and see what he brings. So I just hope that everything goes smooth and, we just do what we need to do.
You mentioned some of the records maybe staying where they're at because guys are moving on and stuff. I think about you. I think about your teammate Lee Mayberry and Todd Day, the all-time leading scorer. I think about the guys prior to you, like Ron Brewer. We just had Sidney Moncrief on about a week ago. Marvin Delph, the guys that came after you, of course, Scotty and Corliss. Oliver, you're an Arkansas basketball legend. What could the university and the athletics department do better about incorporating and involving you guys in future years?
What I really want to see right now is Todd hanging up in the Raptors. That's long overdue. He's an all-time leading scorer, and I don't think anybody's going to break that because they're not going to stick around. We got the all-time winning record with 4 years, and I don't think anybody's going to beat those records. So I just hope that, it's just long overdue. I just want to see Todd number and Todd name hanging up in the Raptor with Sidney Moncrief and Corliss. That's my main. I just want to see that hopefully very soon.
You're not the only one, man. I know we've had listeners definitely petition and push for that when it comes to Arkansas basketball and then really recognizing a legend. It's cool for you to, the first thing you mentioned is trying to help out a teammate because I know people have spoken so highly of you, not just at the college level, but the NBA levels. That's pretty cool. You mentioned Todd. I've referenced a few other guys you played with. You were part of a draft class in 92 that had 4 guys drafted, which is the most ever for Arkansas. Overall, your time in the NBA and with the Razorbacks, Oliver, did you have a favorite teammate?
I played with a lot of great guys. I keep in touch with them. With my Toronto days, I keep in touch with Walt Williams, who we played against my freshman year against Maryland. I still keep in touch with Marcus Camby. A lot of these guys, I just keep in touch with on and off. Damon Stoudemire, who's my rookie. But, a lot of these guys are too busy right now to even think about small guys like me. But try to keep in touch and be good friends with most of the guys I play with. But mainly I just keep in touch with Todd and Lee. I know those are my brothers for life. Me and Todd, we always talk on and off a few times a month, and me and Lee talk sometimes on and off. But other than that, those are my brothers. The Arkansas brothers are my brothers for life, mainly the Arkansas teammates.
There's so many memories. I mean, we could talk about all the success you guys had in the Southwest Conference, Reunion Arena. People listening to you right now they're going back 30 years, which is awesome. I think about a play you had on Shaquille O'Neal, one of the greatest centers of all time. You blocked him, guys go to OT, you beat Dale Brown and company. What do you remember about that game and just how it played out?
Well, it was real challenging because, Shaquille O'Neal is one of the all-time centers that I played against. And also Dale Brown, they want to accept us coming over and winning the conference. So we had to go through those guys, and it was a real tough challenge. If just look back through my career, I've always accepted the challenges. When I had to go against Arizona, they had 3 7-footers, and had to go against UNLV, and had to go against the Dukes, and, all those guys. I just always accepted the challenges because that's just the mentality Coach put in us. Never back down for nobody and always put your best foot forward and play your game. And, I stuck with the game plan and had faith in what Coach wanted us to do, had faith in my teammates. And, I knew and it was going to be a tough challenge, but I always stepped up to the challenge, and I loved it.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time. Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
This is Chuck Fawcett with Chuck Fawcett Realty. When I have an HVAC problem or a plumbing problem, I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. Blaylock Heating and Air.
So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs and great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know. That's 782-8940.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
People don't realize that there were good teams at Arkansas before we got there. But when we came, we changed the narrative because we actually had 3 of the better players from the state of Arkansas. I think that's really what makes that era so special. And I think the Final Four certainly started putting Arkansas basketball on the map as a national powerhouse.
Don't miss the Morning Rush, weekdays from 6 till 9, only on hitthatline.com. The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
I teased it before the break. If blank was an Olympic sport, it'd be a gold medalist at it. You can text in what you think you'd be really good at. 877-377-6963. If blank was an Olympic sport, Ty, what would you gold medal in?
You know, I took 5 minutes to think about this, and I got to be honest, I'm not elite in anything. So, just being golf. I'm not elite in golf. I'm not elite in anything.
No, he's not elite in golf.
In anything. So, I don't even think I could place on a single attribute that I have.
Well,
sports related.
If butchering the English language was a sport, I think you'd be right there.
I would gold
Big C, don't blow that. Big C blew his Coke out his nose there.
Yes, if you want to say that, that's
Coca-Cola, I should say.
That would be a gold medal recipient of not knowing how to speak English as a sports radio host.
You'd at least podium. We'd say that.
I like itinerary planning. I guess that would be. I don't know how
itinerary planning.
Yeah,
that's a skill.
I've got some characteristics that some might deem feminine that, as a male, I have. So
like what?
Well, that I would think the itinerary, the hair, other things.
How much product?
Not
a drop.
If hair care was an Olympic sport, you'd be a medalist.
This is all natural, Chuck.
Being on time to work.
Hey, you don't have to have anything.
BE's got it. If attending weddings was an Olympic sport.
Oh yeah,
that's a great one.
Dude, you'd be doing the national anthem.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Found a winner. 40 in 5 years. So that's a winner, BE.
The Wedding Crashers movie was based loosely on Ty's life. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
I think it's the other way around. I think Ty's life
is loosely based on Wedding Crashers.
Yes, you got it backwards. Yeah.
My father likes to say that I'm the male version of 27 Dresses, the Katherine Heigl movie. 27 suits or tuxedos. So yeah, that would be it. Yeah, butchering the English language would also be high up on the list, but let's be honest, I'm not elite in anything, so just standing up on the ledge would probably not be probable or possible.
All right, Chuck, what would you gold medal in?
Well, boys, I'm just going to be honest with you. Before there were video games, there was Nerf Hoop. And if Nerf Hoop was an Olympic sport, I would not only have more gold than I could spend, I would be literally draped in it.
You'd be like
hours of misspent youth.
Now, is this the one that goes over the door? You have to close the door.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm not talking about high flying slam dunks, although I was plenty capable. But I'm talking about the ability to shoot from anywhere in the room. And I would say from the time I was, 8 until I was, let's just say my early 20s. How about that? I could kill it. I'm an old man now, so I don't think I could do it now. But we used to bet on that in college. That's what you do back then.
That's awesome. 7.
And I'd take your money all night long.
We played that so much. My dad also had a mini hoop goal set up in our garage, but our parents used to get so mad at us, Chuck, because my brother and I mean, like brothers who are 16 months apart would, are competitive everything, and we would be slamming upstairs, and you could hear it echo through the house. So that is a game that is generational, and my kid, whether he wants to or not, is going to have a Nerf hoop in his bedroom.
We are here in the Bud Walton Arena, where it is about as loud as a building could get. The loudest arena to start a game I've ever been in.
This is a hard place. You don't come here expecting to win. Let me tell you that.
The name, the brand, the identity that he brings to a program that has a storied, rich tradition, an outstanding fan base in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on hitthatline.com.
Hey, this is Taylor Green, Arkansas quarterback, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
You can still make those. I mean,
oh yeah.
Dude, it's not like the original ones where the rim was metal
Yeah.
And the net you installed yourself.
Yeah.
You had to run it through the loops and all that.
Yeah.
And it never fit on the door exactly right. So you'd have to put like a paperback book or something up there to get it steady. And then you dunk and it bend, and you'd have to bend it back. And those were the days, man. We had it made. We just didn't know it.
Yeah. I had, I don't know how many of those, dozens of those as a kid, because inevitably you'd break it.
Always get one.
Because you dunk. Because you know, you're 6, 7, 8, you go in that, going for the dunk, and eventually you just.
I could mimic the shooting form, the dunking form of pretty much every player in the NBA. I was 9, 10 years old at the time, and I was a high flyer in the bedroom, boys. Don't let me go. I could soar and dunk, and that's a drop for somebody's show right there. But I could do some Nerf hoop.
Big C,
I need to stop now. When I said bedroom part, I thought I talked too much. Time to stop.
Big C, would you be a gold medalist at the PlayStation?
I might be a silver medalist.
Well, you did beat Zach Carnes handily last night.
If that qualifies as being gold, then I'm gold. Yeah.
Listen, you're too humble.
Undefeated.
You're too humble to go in on how you obliterated Zach last night. It was a 35-10 deficit at one point. Zach is a bum. You whipped him up and down the field, and he should be embarrassed to come on the airwaves.
He did talk a lot. He did talk a lot of crap. I will admit that. So if I do have a pass, if I feel
I wouldn't show my face on the show today if I was Zach Arns.
Well, that's why it's radio. You don't have to. So
he's on video now. So wear a mask, Zach, because you don't deserve to be shown today.
After
last night's performance.
Be like an early '90s Detroit Lions fan. Have a bag on your head.
Well, it's not too.
A little blue dot. Have a blue dot. Chase his head around.
Let's not forget there was plenty of Arkansas fans wearing bags over their heads about 5-6 years ago. So it transcends all different teams.
All right. If I was, I'm like you. I'm not the best golfer in my group, much less, I'm not gold medaling there. There's not many things that I think, I'm the best at this. But if I was going to gold medal at something, it would probably have something to do with the grill. I'd put my pork butt or a brisket up against most. So I guess it'd be something like that. But if going from 0 to 100 when someone gets in the left lane and won't move over was an Olympic sport, I'd probably be right there. Getting fired up when someone won't get out of your way and it's holding you up in traffic, that's probably my sport.
What words come out of your mouth when that happens?
Are you just trying to get me fired? Or
do you do hand gestures? I'm not asking you to flip them off. Do you do hand gestures?
I don't do
like
the hand
move over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Raise your hand up off the wheel like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't go as far as flashing my lights, but
you flash them
pretty close.
But I think about it. So
yeah,
if that was an Olympic sport, I'm gonna tell you the worst is Texas. You get to Texas, they are the worst at that.
Here's the thing: both of you have a reputation to uphold. I'm known for being a moron, so I can do whatever I want, and no one's gonna blink or think otherwise. So again, you guys have this like established. He's professional. I don't have that, so I don't care. So if I flip someone off, it's like, oh, it's just Ty that's doing that. Or if I cuss it, so it's just him.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can't do that because you're too prestigious.
Is that what you do, Ty? You like
I'm
get up on their rear and flip them off and go by.
It may have happened once or twice.
Do you really?
During the course of my driving days.
What he's saying is we have poise in the pocket. Ty just he goes down for the sack. We have poise.
No.
We stand tall in the pocket.
I don't go down for the sack. You guys make the throw. I just throw it away.
We'd all be pretty embarrassed if every time we went into a road rage it was on tape. I think we'd all be in trouble.
Oh, I'd be. It would be. It would be embarrassing. Let's just say that, to say the least. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question.
That's a good one.
We got a lot of. We got a lot of text on that. Maybe we'll sort through that. I don't know who it was that said smoking the lefties would be his, but good for you. I guess that's legal in some states now.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors. Or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar.